modern day masculine man, take one.
Ooh, what makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills, and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't bend, I won't break, you are not me, and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, bitch. Woo!
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? How y'all doing tonight? Can you hear me, Miss Carla?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. How
Very
you doing?
good.
Yeah,
Well.
It's like a little sound, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. You know, it's like a little high pitch. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I want to make sure everybody can hear us. Okay, so let me make sure this is going okay. Let's see.
I think you is probably good. Try to do what you do, but I think you as good as you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? What we'll do is we'll come in the future like 5 minutes ahead of time, and
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, let's testing 1, 2. Testing.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. You good?
Okay, good.
So yeah, you know, I always like to start off by saying how your week been so far. It's hump day, as they call it, the middle of the week. You know what I'm saying? It seems like the time is going by way faster now. It's like, God, it's like we living in a fucking my granddad used to say, when you get old, boy, the day's gonna get shorter. And I used to be like, what the fuck do you mean? And it's like, I'm not even old, but I really feel like I understand what he mean when he said when you get older, the day's gonna get shorter, because it seemed like Wednesday to Wednesday to Wednesday to Wednesday comes so fast as we try to build this thing we're trying to build. But how your week been so far?
Really, it's been productive. I've been trying to build some things. Just working on our Ranting and Raving YouTube channel, trying to get some sales with the book. Don't forget to get it. I have to send you my book. I need you to read it because it's getting hot.
Well, where can I buy it from? Because I'll just buy it. You know what I'm saying? I bought Trav book. I like to show support. You know what I'm saying? I like so just put the link up here, or have Miss Delise put the link up here, or just tell me, can you get it on Amazon?
Patreon. It's on my Patreon under Carla. And I'll send it to you. I'll do it right here in the chat so everybody can see it. Yeah. And then also, I did my homework that you asked me to do. Do you remember what homework you asked me to do?
You know, I don't remember that until you bring it up.
You asked me to watch a movie.
Yeah. Their eyes are watching God. What do you think?
Oh my God, Javon. You just got it. You hit that. Listen, I was like, how did he even know that movie would resonate so well with me?
Every woman, you got to think what's so crazy is I used to always want to be up under my aunt. She was just so beautiful. I had a crush on her when I was a little boy. And she had a TV in her room. And I used to always go up to her room. And she was still in high school. I'm like maybe I can remember 4 or 5 years old. And I would always want to watch TV in there with her. And she was like, you can come in if you're going to read. Don't turn that damn TV on. That TV is the idiot box. That's what she's my aunt. She used to always call
was right.
Idiot box. That's what they used to call it back in the day. Box. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how old people enough to remember that, but somehow she went out. But she'll be back in a sec. And my aunt used to call it the idiot box. And I can remember, I'll save this. I'll continue telling this story, but I want to discuss it with her. And I remember she was like, you can come in, but you can't. If you come in, you're going to have to.
And the deep part about it, when people don't realize how bad it is when we get so cooped up into the TV. So it's good that she had you read, because reading is vitally important for us to just,
Do you know
really
you just
gain.
went out? Do you know your whole thing just went out, or you just came back in talking like you ain't never go out? Do you know your thing went out?
I know it did. I just kept
Oh,
talking.
okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, that, and her calling it the idiot box, she used to always make me read, and I can remember her giving me this book. My aunt Cheryl had taught me to read, so I probably was about 4.5, 5, and she gave me this book called "Their Eyes Were Watching God" by Zora Neale Hurston. And I remember just read. She's like, and when you finish reading it, we're gonna talk about it. And I remember just reading it and kind of getting it and reading it over and over, like really trying to understand so I could have this conversation with my aunt. And that book was the first book I ever read. Their Eyes Were Watching God. And in my mind, that's when reading took me a place, because I didn't know reading. I got exposed to reading more before the TV. So when I was reading, I used to imagine the characters in the book looking
Right,
like people I know. And the only people I knew were relatives of my family. So I would
right.
see an aunt here. This character, Tea Cake, was my Uncle Junior. And you know what I'm saying? But what I as a man, I call myself the woman whisperer. I recommend every woman read the book, Their Eyes Were Watching God, or watch the movie, because the book is exactly like the movie. That's one of the only movies I see. And then I would recommend every woman watch the Spike Lee's, it's not the Spike Lee series. Spike Lee had the movie She's Gotta Have It. But on Netflix, there's a series called She's Gotta Have It. It's a
Right.
spin-off of the movie. I recommend every woman watch Their Eyes Were Watching God and She's Gotta Have It. But look, just for fun, kicks and giggles, let's talk about it. What do you think about it? Let's have a conversation about it right here.
Okay. So the first part of it that was powerful to me was how the nanny. I'm going to start from the beginning, because
About it.
So the nanny was so adamant about her coming into her sexual understanding, and she saw her kissing on that young man and got all in a hoopla over it, and you're gonna get married and all this stuff. Like, you just planned out my whole setup because you saw me kissing. It's like, well, when I look at stuff, I'm always trying to analyze, well, where do we end up as even parents or guides? Because we don't always have to be a parent, but sometimes we're just guides in people's lives, and we can find ourselves guiding a child or guiding a young woman into a mess, not realizing that we're guiding them in it. We're just seeing them. We call ourselves knowing better for them than they know for themselves. And so when she was coming into her sexuality, the first immediate thing was, you have to get, we got to get that contained. So we got to make sure you're not going to be making all this love and then making babies. So I feel like she just automatically just got into this uprooted, relationship and marriage. And it was just, you have to do this.
Yeah.
And the reason behind it wasn't for any love or anything else. It's just, you're going to gain all of this land. And I understood it, being that you're going to gain something for your growth into getting into a marriage with a man you're really not at all attracted to.
Yeah.
I don't even recall them even being intimate.
Yeah.
But she was just like, what is this? This is not even someone I'm attracted to. So I was laughing because you know me, I tell you all the time, he's got to be handsome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is this? This is not going to work. Not for my spirit personally. So I'm looking at this like, so we're doing this for some land? Okay. But I understand that was so important for the Black community, to make sure that they had something
And
to
let me
pass on.
interject for a second. It was funny because when you really think about it, doing it for some land, old boy had it. He was a decent old motherfucker, but she was like, you finna ruin yourself. Like, literally back in the day,
Yeah.
people don't realize why they say, what up, Enzo? Keep winning, family. People don't realize why they say you wear white to a wedding. Back in the day, traditionally, she had that white gown on, and when they had sex the night of, if she bled, they broke a hymen, they considered her a virgin. So if she didn't come bloody the next morning, that man could divorce that woman. So that's why old women say, you don't need to be wearing no white to the wedding. We know you ain't no virgin. So it's like she saw that little girl being fast, so she was like, you finna go out here and get fucked up and pregnant by some little cute motherfucker you like that ain't got a damn thing going for herself. And ain't that how it always is?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ain't got the cute guy. See, this is what people don't realize. A woman's body has always been her bag since the beginning of time. That's why a woman that couldn't have kids, the Bible considered them cursed, and they would say the community should take care of them. The women that couldn't have kids, the community
so take care of them. The barren woman, the woman that's barren.
Women, they like, look, if you can't have kids, that's what the offerings in the Bible were for the widows, the barren women. You know what I'm saying? The homeless. Yes, it's like this woman is barren. Who gonna take care of her?
Right.
Ain't gonna be with her with no kids. So her body was always a bag. So it's like a woman wouldn't give a man sex unless it was beneficial to her coming up. So it's like her body and ability to have babies is what made her valuable. Yes. So she like, now you gonna go out here and get a pussy away and get pregnant by some cute motherfucker that ain't got shit. And ain't that how it is now? Only a cute man without value can get some pussy. You know, you could be a handsome guy with zero value and nothing going on for yourself and have all the damn women.
Well, we always call that tall, dark, and handsome, don't we?
Mm-hmm. He
That's what we want.
All the damn women and ain't got shit going on for himself. And he got and the mamas would tell you, don't go out here and mess with little Fredo. He'll tell he got 6 or 7 children. And that's exactly who she go get fucking pregnant.
Of course. Javon, like, come on now. You know we love handsome men. Y'all love y'all love pretty women. So of course, that's just a given.
So let me ask you something without us getting too deep into it, because some people haven't seen it. Do you recommend it? And then go back into your spiel, but is it something that you think all women should see, or is it something that you feel like was just something that you could relate to?
I think all women should see it. Yes.
Shout out to my King Randall for the $50. That's my guy King. Y'all know King.
We appreciate the blessing. Thank you.
King got to school. King is doing big things. I love him. That's my nephew. We talk, we talk 2-3 days a week. Miss Carla, you know you popping up again. There's something requesting you to pop up again. So let me bring her back in. Did you see something requested you to pop up again?
I did it on purpose.
Okay. You sound like you got a better sound from that phone or whatever you're doing right there.
I was trying to do this earlier, but for whatever reason, everything was going wrong.
Okay. Well, you got better sound now.
Yeah, so, you know I have to make it right. If I'm going to make it wrong, I got to make it right.
Exactly. So do you think it's something that all women should watch, or do you think it's some mumbo jumbo? Because it could just be me as a man talking some dumb shit and something that you relate to.
Well, if I'm honest with you, I think all women should watch it, but I think women that are, like you had advised to me, that I have that openness with love, I think it's very relatable for a woman that understands how to be more evolved in how she loves. Remember, I told you loving with your eyes wide open and all that. It really changes the whole narrative because it helps us to redefine, can we love more than one person? Can we love someone and care about them? Can we love them to their death? Because remember, her first husband was like, I don't care about you. I mean, he gave some pretty brutal words in his dying eyes. So for me, it's like, this is something that women need to see, because women need to understand the male mind, how men really are moved. But remember, in his, I would say his words to her, he made sure to mention that you didn't appreciate the whole reason for this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of men don't understand it, nor do they care about it, nor are they even remotely aligned with it. And so a lot of times when a man is trying to provide and sees it as the biggest gift he could possibly give her, it's usually oftentimes not even appreciated, not by the woman.
So let me ask you this, and then we can get into the show, because I just wanted to pick your brain on it. In those three men, I feel like you have representatives of three archetypes of men that women meet in their life. Literally, like you got the number one guy who her grandma said, look, he's right for you because you young, you pretty, and you finna fuck your future up by out here hoeing. So get with this man. And you know, this man really told her, look, I'm old. And all I need you to do is cook and just do right by me, and you gonna have all this shit. All this shit gonna be yours. Yeah. Like all this shit gonna be yours. And she literally was like, "Fuck that." You know what I'm saying? Then the second guy is a representative of the guy that's on paper that looks right. Like he met her. He was motherfucker was the nigga. Like, hey, baby, come get with me. Goddamn, I got a plan. I got a business. He was smooth. Everything about him was right. So she left with him. Yeah. And she was the woman because of him. Yeah. But T-Cake was the motherfucker that she really.
Her heart was for. Her heartstrings.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I love it because it shows she got to have all three versions, but she got what she wanted in the end, regardless of how she looked. And you know what is crazy? I love it because when you have real love, everybody around think you getting drugged and dragged because of the unconditionalness of it. Things that, because it's so amazing to me. I love it so much. I'm gonna go back and watch it again because it's like,
you have me watching this late. I was up late with this movie, mind you.
It's because
I started at 10 at night, and I was like, you know what? Javon asked me to watch this movie. Let me go ahead and surprise him, because I don't think he knows or even remembers that he asked me to watch it.
Yeah.
And so when I watched it, I was like, ooh. And she outlived all of them. And then she was able to speak from a wisdom type of move. Like, no, I mean, you got to learn to love and understand what it is. Like, that's the whole point in living. I was like, oh, see.
And the crazy thing about love is what was so amazing to me, how everybody thought he was using her, and she really loved this motherfucker and went and picked beans and went and worked with this motherfucker, and he was true to the end. The motherfucker just got bit by a dog and got the rabies, and she had to take him out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that shit is crazy, man.
But it also goes to show you how brutal life is. No matter how right you do things, no matter how good you are, you can still get some effed up ending every time. It's like, what is this?
But you know, I guess where the saying comes from is better to have love than lost than never to have loved at all. I think that woman was such a genius.
And you know who has the sad story is Luther Vandross. As much as I loved him, I wish he would have experienced it, because every love song that man's ever sang was amazing.
Yeah,
I love Luther to the death, and unfortunately, that man never experienced it.
You know what? I think about Luther, and I think about people like Freddie Jackson. Luther and Freddie Jackson are two guys that's kind of like, you never seen them with a woman, but they sang love songs for you. So you figured they were singing about women. But as you get older, you be like, Luther don't want no pussy. Freddie don't want no pussy. But it's like, I can't even imagine how that feels now that you said it, to empathize, because I'm not fucking homophobic. I don't have nothing against gay people. I hope gay people find all the love in the motherfucking world. You know what I'm saying? But I can imagine Luther just looking at a motherfucker, or somebody looking at Luther one day. I could write Luther's movie. This would be a dope scene in Luther's movie. It's like, you are my friend and I'm Luther, right? And we're going to do this scene. I want you to tell me, as Luther said, listen, you got to go out here and love And love out in the open, love out loud. And I'm gonna
love out loud with your eyes open.
I'm gonna tell you what Luther would respond. Go ahead.
Luther, you've got to love with your eyes wide open. You have got to experience it. You sing, you're the epitome of your being.
Carla, you a woman. That fairy tale love is for women and men. It ain't for man and man. Do you understand what's going on? It's an AIDS epidemic. I can't go out. I want to, but I just can't. I'm gonna keep this on the inside.
Good.
I love Craig. You gotta
go and experience it, please. It's so devastating that you went all these 180 songs you sang about it to the depth and the
one
chorus.
guy. It was only for one guy.
How many babies were conceived from your music, Luther? Please. You got to experience it.
Luther said, listen, all them songs, they was only for one guy. Nah, but man, but just think about that.
Love Luther.
Or think about how that would feel, though. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get into today's topic, because I really like the topic, and I know you got a spin on it. You know what I'm saying? It was only for one guy.
You know, Luther can sing. I don't know what.
Yes, man, that motherfucker. Imagine, that's probably why those songs had so much power, because he can only express it in the studio. And he probably had Craig sitting across from him in the studio looking at him dead now. Let me hold you. Why do we joke? You know, this is one thing I laugh and I say, we can joke about laughter, love, and that man dead and gone. God bless Luther. God bless the dead. One day somebody gonna talk about us and say, man, them motherfucking Ranting and Raving podcast, them motherfuckers sure had shit going down, man.
We're always cutting up. Always
there was some happening, you know, there was some happening, brothers and sisters.
So let's get started. We're gonna talk tonight. You already know. I'm always up to something.
Go ahead, get into it.
So Wednesday night, some people walk into a room and you can feel them. Others walk in the room and vanish into the noise. We're talking tonight about presence, not performance, not popularity. Why are some people unforgettable while others fade in the background? This week, we're going to talk about unpacking how we can just get the presence really hot. How can we master that? Because remember, we've talked about swag in our swag.
Can it be developed? Can swag be developed? Yes. And just a quick review. I didn't think swag can be developed. I felt like I got swag. I think Miss Carla got swag. Feel like swag is just something you're born with. But however, she, you know, and as we discuss it and going through the steps, you can develop swag just by learning yourself, knowing yourself, being fully confident in yourself. That will allow you to know who you can approach, who you cannot approach. You work on your game, you get shot down before long, you got a presence about yourself. So swag can be developed. So I can assume where this is going, but let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Because we talk about the presence. Because that's also something I naturally would immediately hear would be like, you got to have some about you that's they say that je ne sais quoi. When you walk in the room, whether you short, tall, ugly, dark, blah, blah, it's just got to be some about you that take over that room. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know if you saw recently, I cut our one video where you talked about you being 6'5", or I'm sorry, you're 6'6", right? 6'6", and you talked about how in our Living Soul reading together, you talked about how you didn't really want that to be intimidating.
Yeah.
I told you, even if you were in a shorter man version of yourself, it wouldn't matter. Your being, your living soul is that massive. So it didn't matter what this is. This has nothing to do with us. This is our avatar. It has nothing to do with anything we controlled. This is just what we came to be. However, internally, what we have is what people experience.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about how powerful it is. So I want us to talk about how some women confuse cool with cold. Why most men confuse swag with showmanship. And how you can finally stop trying and start being.
Sounds good to me.
We're going to take you guys down for the first look of what we're going to create in our Swag Academy, where we're going to show where it's going to be a co-ed part to our workshop. So there's going to be parts where I'm going to pull the ladies in our little co-ed workshop section, and then Javon's going to pull the gents into another co-ed section, and then we're going to combine and show how powerful it is, because only a man can really show a man how to be, dynamic in his debonair, and only, we have a tendency to show how we can be classy but cool.
Yeah, yeah. I like how you said cold versus cool, because I really have watched women throughout my life, and the women that think that they are pretty or think that they have it normally have a colder, like, and they think that it's like, I'm beautiful, so I'm unapproachable, I'm unattainable,
Yes.
I'm untouchable.
Yes.
And only the right guy. It's like they're putting out energy that says, if you ain't got the money, or if you ain't the debonair guy, don't talk to me. And it's like, me being the debonair guy, I'm picking up a cold bitch.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like you thinking that you're making yourself exclusive to a certain echelon of man, and the echelon of man that you're looking for is like, man, this bitch thinks she the fucking world worship her. It's like that non-inviting woman, that woman that doesn't smile. Like, you can be the prettiest, most sexiest woman in the room, but if you still smile, and when one thing I've noticed about me, and this is me, as I say, we give out a little game.
Right.
I would always be at a party or a club, and I always made it my business when I first got there, and made my interest and saw people looking at me, and got my lady my drink from the bar and had my drink. And once I get my first drink in me, I will always make it my business to dance with a woman that when people wouldn't expect me to dance with.
Nice.
Yeah, just dance with a little fat, ugly woman or older lady, and have a good time with an older lady, or somebody that they think I shouldn't dance with. And boy, that just opened me up for all the fucking women in the party.
You already know what it is.
Like, why the fuck you dance with her? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good guy. He doesn't consider himself exclusive. So women will be coming up to me wanting to know, what kind of motherfucker is this handsome, but this cool, but he dancing with somebody I don't expect him to dance with. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I just did that, and it always worked for me. I don't know what women were thinking. What are women thinking when I do that? That shit would always work for me. I would just, if I go somewhere at a party, I done dance with somebody's drunk auntie that, you know what I'm saying, that they know she the crackhead of the family, you know what I'm saying? And then now all the cousins trying to give me some pussy. What's up with that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what's up with that. You showed that it doesn't matter who you are embodied with in tonight. I'm going to give you some time and energy in my space. What? Is this gentleman out here dancing? Pardon me? Let me get some of that. Why? Because you are non-threatening, and you're not intimidated by what other people think. So that means if you're approaching a lady and you're out there dancing and grooving with her and getting it in and having a good time, regardless of what other people say or think, that makes a woman know she can trust you. Because a man that can stand in the presence of a drunken auntie and be on that floor dancing with her and give a hoot about what other people are saying, because there's always some gossips. They're going to be like, okay, so if we have our private moment, He's not going to slander me.
Mm.
He's not going to talk crap about me. This man can hold his water.
If I get this nigga some pussy in the bathroom at the party, he gonna come right on out and rip his pants up like
ain't nothing happening.
I'm playing.
But I mean, you
that's
know,
crazy how you broke that down.
Conduct.
Yeah.
Huh? You know what the code is.
Wow, that's crazy how you explain that, because this lady asked me today, I made this video while we're talking about swag and what lets us know certain things. She asked me, she was like, why is a man always asking for a picture for a woman and da 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 and da 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 da. And then I said, well, I'll tell you, I said, but go ask your Facebook friends first. Ask your Facebook and see what the women think. Yes, and all the women were like, he's trying to inadvertently ask for a body pic or a sex pic or blah, 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 blah. And I told her after she asked her friends, I would make a video and she could tag her friends in it. When a man asks a woman for a spontaneous picture, that's him gauging, do you really like me? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like saying, for right now, for example, if I was talking to you, I wouldn't ask you to send me a picture 10:30 Tuesday morning. You at work, you in your zone. Right. But if we talking on a Saturday evening or a Friday, you done got off or something like that, or a Sunday morning, I say, hey babe, send me a picture. And you might say, I just got up, blah, blah, blah. And I said, nah, send me a picture. I want to see how you look now. Well, and I'll tell you, I want to see if you'll do it just for me. Take a pic just for me. And if that woman send that picture just for you and exactly how she look right now, she really likes you. Not only do she really like you, she want to show you that she'll do what you say.
She'll show you something.
Yeah. So that's why we test that. We're not asking you to send no naked shit. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a lot of men that have asked women, yo, send me a spontaneous pic. Let me see what you look like now. Mm-hmm. And the woman didn't do it. And the man said, oh, I'll keep fucking you or fuck with you, but I know you would never submit to me. Because just that simple. Just that simple. You care more about you care more about how you look and the world standards of I ain't pretty, I ain't got my face on, I don't want to pull my hair back. Da, 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 da. If you can't just say, okay, look, I like you enough to show you how I really look, and you ask for it now, and I'm gonna give it to you. That's showing me you'll submit to me, you'll listen to me.
Well, that, and not only that, she's cooperative. Mm-hmm. So when you are in a relationship, it's making love all the time, in energy, and if you got your right sexual match, you're making a lot of love together anyway. But I'm talking about energetically. So if I'm giving and you're taking and you're taking and I'm giving, we're doing this all the time energetically.
Yeah.
Even in conversations, if I'm asking you, hey, well, shit, well, you want me to send you a pic, send me one. You know what I mean? I want to see too. So again, that was something swag like. But I'm trying to show you that you have to keep the flirtations going. Yeah. And you have to understand that what that's showing a man is that I'm a cooperative woman. Cooperative means I'm also welcoming to the masculine energy, because men just like to look.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get back into the cold. I want you to get into the cold and cool thing for me, because I think women really need to understand the difference in inviting and deterring or just cold. I mean, it's hard for me to explain, but it's just like, golly, I'm not going to walk up. And it's not because I'm scared of rejection. I just don't want to talk to you. You see what I'm saying? Well, you got go ahead.
Let me fill you in on why we're going to talk about the coldness with women. So first off, I want us to get out of the thinking about your attraction to men for just a minute, because I want both sexes to understand that attraction is genderless. What I mean by that is, when you are a woman, women should attract to your being. And what that means is your energy, what you come to, how you talk to them. Hey, girl, what's going on? I see you. Yes, okay. And even if she knows you or she doesn't, she's moved to come up to you and talk to you. Matter of fact, I was just door dashing yesterday, washing my hands. A little girl comes up, and I didn't say anything to her, just a little precious little girl. She looks at me and she's like, I like your earrings. I was like, thank you, baby girl. I appreciate it. I said, we have to wash our hands. It's very important. She said, yeah, because I got all my hands all sticky. Now, this is a baby. This is a little girl. She's she might be between 9 and 11. She was young.
Yeah.
But I'm big about paying attention to how youth and animals respond to my presence at all times. This is very important. This is something that you guys can use tonight. But when you notice that when you are sour, cold, you don't really have an energy that's positive, the same sex doesn't resound with you either.
Yeah.
So you won't have a whole lot of friendships. You won't have a whole lot of people wanting to ask you directions or ask you a general question. If there's any confusion, you will notice that people won't feel moved to want to just up and talk to you.
Yeah.
That's something that is a key component to knowing if you are a woman or a man that is attractive. Because in our SWAG Academy, we're going to teach how important it is that we get an understanding first of self-confidence, but that comes from first being okay and being who we are in the being we're in.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The cold goes away once we start to find our purpose and once we start finding our sexy.
That's amazing how you said that, because I've always attracted men and women, you know what I'm saying? At the barbershop, like, it's like I've always dominated the conversations. And when I said dominated the conversations, I don't mean like coming in the barbershop. I mean, me sitting in the chair, getting my hair cut, talking to my barber personally, kind of like, yeah, man, such and such, whispering, talking to my barber.
Right.
Specifically. And that conversation between me and my barber somehow becomes the topic of the barbershop.
Yes.
And people are asking me as if I'm the teacher. And I'm just sitting in the chair talking to my barber.
But you are.
I'm not saying, hey, shop, y'all want to talk about something? I'm just talking to my barber.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? And by the time my barber might say something out loud, or somebody might hear some, or just, you know what I'm saying? And then after a week in the barbershop, the next week, people ready for me to come in. Like, they just say, hey, man, it was a nigga in the barbershop last week. Funny motherfucker. Da, 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 da. And every barbershop I go to, like, I can have a TV show of just me going to a barbershop. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what it is. It's like, I know men ain't looking at me like, I want to fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
No, but what they are attracted to, Javon, is your energy. We talked about that when we did your living soul reading. So you have a resilience. And in your resilience, that's an energy that is a part of what attracts men to want to talk to you. Or they start to build an interest in, most of the time, men's attraction. And I'm not coming from a sexual space. I'm just saying why they're usually attracted to other men is because they want to become that man.
Yeah.
Because he's got what? He got popularity. He's got confidence. All the women check him out. He's got the swag. He's got the looks and all this stuff. So other men are like, man, I would just like to know what's in that man's mind, because even those men that have all of that doesn't necessarily mean that they have the attention. There's a lot of handsome, tall, dimpled up men that don't get attention. They can walk in a room and get just bypassed. Nobody pays them on, never mind. However, there could be a shorter dude that's got the same handsomeness and women just flock to him because of the resiliency.
Yeah.
You build this resiliency in your energy field that's welcoming to people, and you are fun.
It's kind of like my nephew King, me and King that just was up here. King, you know, I've been I don't call it mentoring just because I don't call it mentoring, King, because King is like a king. Like King is, I tell him all the time, I said, boy, you above me. You know what I'm saying? Like just it's almost like the things that I've told him along the way are things that mistakes that I've made that I would switch up and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, he like, you know what I'm saying? And we tell each other, I love you every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I watch him just shoom. And it's like, it's an amazing thing. Cause I was attracted to him when I first saw him as a young man. I was like, hey, this little guy right here, he gonna be a bad motherfucker one day. And it's funny because me and King have been in the room together, and you know, I'm 6'6", and King 5'7", 8, I don't know, 5'9". I said 5'9", King. I don't want to shoot you up. I don't know. But the point I'm making is there was a picture that me and King had took together, and people that didn't know him, people in my family that don't even be on the internet, you know what I'm saying? Somehow, man, what was that little guy that was with you, man? It's like they could tell he's something, you know what I'm saying? Like people like, this motherfucker something, you know what I'm saying? So,
right. And remember what I brought up before to you earlier is that energetically, he has a massive living soul.
Yeah.
So the living soul is massive, even though he may be embodied or his avatar may be shorter stature, it doesn't matter. As long as, from what it sounds like to me, you've been pouring into him being who you are. You've been pouring in your teacher, and you're teaching him things, and you're elevating him, and you're encouraging him to be at his highest level of self. So all that pouring in that you're doing, it's just keeping him elevated, and his living soul is just more and more and more massive. Well, that's because of you.
And you know, iron sharpens iron, because like I said, just me being attracted to him, I don't fuck with no little younger niggas, you know what I'm saying? Right. But also what it has done for me, and it's made me to be more accountable as being a man or a representative. You know, I can't get out here and get caught cheating on my old lady, no matter how we look at it. You know what I'm saying? How I behave as a man is reflective of who I can attract.
Absolutely.
And that's what we was talking about last night with Trav and the legacy situation.
Fabulous show.
What is it about women? When you say women attracting women, my wife does that. She attracts women, and it's like a situation where I watch women who are not attracted to her. Have you ever just watched somebody in a room and you see 10, 12 people, women, go to her, and then the 3 that don't go to her, you could see that it's I think this bitch fake, or you know what I'm saying? It's
they're judgy.
Yeah, it's very hard to explain. It's like I remember having an event, and what we did was we told all the women when they came in, we separated them and set them on each side of the room by their skin color. They didn't realize this. Oh. And it was like you had situations where I said, before we get started, if anybody's feeling uncomfortable, you know, want their money back, you know, you can leave, blah, blah. It was an experiment. And so many women raised their hand. And then I started laughing. I was like, now we're going to have to play a game of musical chairs. Y'all can get up and sit where y'all want to sit. And everybody went and sat with the people they came with. I said, this was an experiment to show y'all as women, when y'all are in a social setting, if y'all can't sit with the people you came with and badmouth and talk to about everybody that's coming in, you can't have no fun. I said, y'all can't sit at a table and sit down and say, hi, I'm Keisha. What's your name? Where you from? What you do? When the men came in and we did the same thing, the men had no problem. Oh, I'm good sitting right here. Shit. It was like laughter. Like the men, you know, it was like we didn't separate 3 homies and put them at the table with strangers, and they like, shit, I'm good. Hey dog, what's up, man? Where you from, man? How you doing here? Da, 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 da. When we separated them women sat at the table and ain't speak to each other. What's up with that?
Unfortunately, remember we talked about this before, but unfortunately, a lot of times women have a hard time being pliable. You had mentioned first about women attracting to Chris. Well, first of all, Chris is flirtatious, and so am I. So, in a flirtatious spirit, it helps to break the ice. So remember, we called them cold women. Well, that means they're full of ice. So when we go in a room, Chris and I think sharing this, we will go into a room and be like, "What's going on, ladies? You good?" I mean, it is today. Listen, today is a blazer out there. We'll just start talking, and people are like, "Oh, okay," and then they'll start talking back. But normally, if somebody's just sitting there still, it's like, everything okay? You good? And then when you ask them, then they start to feeling a little bit different. Like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, they feel uncomfortable because they're not used to someone coming into their presence and saying, hey, you're good here. I'm who I am. I'm not going to change me. I'm flirtatious whether you're a male or female. But the thing about it is, the flirtation is not sexual. The
Yeah.
flirtation is bringing you out of your shell, or bringing you out of your attitude, or bringing you out of your life of disappointment because nothing's going right, or whatever you got going on in your heart and spirit. I'm going to chop my chisel is my flirtation, to chisel away that cold ice in your spirit.
And see, I do that with women too, and it's so don't be flirtatious, because sometimes it's like, I'm not gonna sit in here with you quiet with this motherfucking spirit in the air. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I walked into it was a meeting going on at my job, and the meeting was starting at 8 o'clock, but some of the people who had worked third shift were already there. So I walk into the room. I was one of them. I walk into the room, and it's me and three women, and we got to sit there together for 30 minutes until everybody else get there. And when I walk into the room, it's quiet. Ain't nobody saying nothing. So I set my stuff down. I said, man, let me get the hell out of here. I ain't finna sit in here with these goddamn women quiet like this. That's what I said. You know what I'm saying? And then I went to the bathroom, and then I forgot I had my watermelon in my bag, and I wanted to sit down. It was cool in that room. I said, damn, let me sit down and just eat my watermelon. And when I sat down, I said, how y'all ladies doing? I'm Javon. They said, hey, how you doing? I'm Javon. Hey, how you doing, Javon? I said, what's your name? I'm Keisha. Then they started speaking to each other. Them women had been there damn near 5 minutes together without me, and I done left and came out. Them women hadn't spoke to each other and introduced themselves to each other yet. And then once they introduced themselves to each other, I started like doing my little talk, laughing. We had a nice little time, and them women opened up, and everybody had some input to the conversation until it was time. And I was just like, I won't trying to holler at nobody. I was just like, I ain't finna sit in a room with three women and everybody fucking quiet and ain't nobody saying that. I'm like, I know as a man, I'm smooth enough to get something going on in here to break this spirit of fucking quietness or something. You know what I'm saying?
And if we're honest, I think too, Javon, culturally, a lot of times with Black females, we have a tendency to be a little bit more, I would say, standoffish with our counterparts or women. And normally that comes from the fact that I told you a long time ago, we as women are competitive. And in our competitive spirit, we're way worse than men. So if I speak or I interject my being presence and speaking to them, I'm not going to care if you speak back to me or not. I'm just trying to break the ice. But if I come into a space where no one speaks, I'll be like, okay, I'm just trying to say hello to you. No harm, just hello. And then I let them still sit in that rejection without feeling away, because I don't care. I'm just smooth. But I realize that a lot of times women have a hard time with their competitive nature. And if they think, oh, she's trying to take my man, or she's trying to speak to me because she's trying to take something from me, or she just has this or that, whatever her prejudice is in her mind, that can also cause for there to be a cold, demeanor or a lack of wanting to interact. And some people are just introverts. They don't want to talk. They don't even like people. So
Yeah.
they're just like, I don't want to say anything to nobody.
Is that competitive nature? Is it a natural instinct? Almost like,
oh, it's natural.
Are you?
Yes.
Is it possible that you could get a man that I can't get? Could you take my man? Like, what the fuck is going on with that?
Well, you do remember I told you a long time ago, our validity or our value is determined by if we have been considered a wife, if they're in the marital realm, or if we are chosen as a woman, that we're the primary woman in the man's life or whatever. That is supposed to be the stamp of validity on the planet. So if we're out here not spoken for or covered by a man or any of that, then automatically we're considered, what's wrong with her? Why doesn't she have a man? What's going on with that? So that's really where the jealousy or the competition comes in from, because there's always someone feeling a way about the fact that if I don't have a man, then I'm not valid.
You know what's crazy? The way you just broke that down, I can see that, because men are competitive in this way. And I'm gonna explain to you what I mean. Okay. When a man is in the room with another man, resources, it's like a feeling of now, but watch this. When I tell you men live in reality and women don't.
Right.
That's what I believe. Yes. Meaning when a man is coming in the room and men meet each other, men are always going to be respectful because there's a low level threat of violence. Disrespect amongst men could turn into violence that quick. That whole women walking in the room, not speaking, men walking to the room. How y'all doing though? What's up, bro? Nigga don't speak. Hey, you good, man? Fuck wrong with you? Mm-hmm. Like there's a custom. Nigga, I spoke to you. That's me showing that I have no animosity. I'm coming into this room for peace. But when you don't speak back, you just showed me that you may not be for peace. Now this is a hostile situation. That's how men are. If a man come into a room, if I come into a room and there's another brother in there or men in there, I say, how y'all brothers doing? And don't nobody speak or give it a cold look. I'm gonna say, let me get the fuck out of here before I fuck somebody up. That's
right.
Yeah, instantly. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So men speak, and there's never gonna be disrespect, but men say, what you do? You know, what you do, bro? What you do? Oh, I'm a lawyer. I'm a this, I'm a that. And from there, we kind of establish like, shit, I got access to more resources than you. You're not a threat. Or damn, this motherfucker got access to more resources than me. Let me step my game up, or I know my place in the room.
Yes.
Whereas women feel like everybody should get love and have a man just because we are a woman. Women don't see she's the prettiest woman in the room. She's the fittest. She's the humblest. She keeps herself in shape the most. Like she take care of herself. It's like, so you have a situation where it's kind of like women don't like to admit. So it's kind of like that's where that level of competition come from. I know if I walk in the room and I say, "What's going on, bro? How you doing?" And he said, "What's going on, bro? How you doing?" And we get to talking. The motherfucker said, "Yeah, I'm a fucking college professor, or I'm a fucking real estate developer. Blah 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 blah." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
It's like, okay, this. A nigga can say, okay, this motherfucker got access to more resources than me. Don't mean he better than me, but this nigga got a place that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? So why it's so hard for women to just say, okay, I'm in the room and this bitch look better than me. If a man come in here, she gonna get him over me. Like when once we get in the room and we access each other, see, it's a little bit different from me because women, like we said in the beginning of the show, Women always go for the motherfucking tall, dark, and handsome guy. He can be broke.
Right.
So when I walk in the room, and I've been, like I said, I've been in places with powerful men and men that I knew, like, hey, this nigga got access to more resources than me. This
Right.
man is on a more level than me. This man can get into places I can't get. This man can spend what I can't spend.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I know that. And I say, hey, I get that. But then when the women come in the room, it's like, pretty boy Floyd that pretty boy in me is gonna help. You see what I'm saying? And some men that they got a whole lot of money and shit, they know. It's like we know. It's like men actually will sit around and as we go out, say for example, and this is not bigging myself up. I'm trying to make a point.
Right.
I have been on a situation where, and you juxtapose it, I'm pretty sure you've been to a wedding where you had to be a bridesmaid where you ain't know everybody, right?
Of course.
I have been to a situation where recently one of my homeboys got married. Okay. So we go to DC. Okay. And we stand in the Airbnb. So it's a wedding party. It's probably about 12 guys, big wedding. Wow. So it's 12 wedding. Guys. Yeah. We just meet his cousins, his friends, some of his friends from college, some of his friends that are professors. He's a college professor. Okay. And as we get ready to go to this day party, I throw on this chain right here, American flag, because I'm American. Black t-shirt, sweatpants, one leg rolled up like LL Cool J, no sock, my little sneakers.
Right.
And I'm like, y'all niggas ready? Let's turn up. You know, we having shots. And after we had a shot, men joke. So they like, hey, to my man Steve-O, like, what your man doing? We going to a day party in DC. Hey, bro, you going like that? You dress? I'm like, yeah, shit, I'm dressed. It's a day party. They don't dress code. They like, nigga, you wildin'. And Steve is like, hey, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. You know what I'm saying? And they like,
he's gonna stop the show.
Yeah. So when we get there, we got the party bus. It's literally, like I said, we get in there and Louis, gold chains, diamonds, Gucci, and they're getting all the attention they deserve.
Right.
But it's all what you said earlier. Swag versus showmanship. You had said that earlier. Yes, sir. So we was leaving bar hopping, club to club, party bus. I getting all the women coming on the party bus and I'm bringing all the women over. And these guys like, man, how is you nigga? And they don't realize I'm saying, hey, y'all come over here with us. Mm-hmm. My homies trying to have a good time and drink. And they willing to spend. These niggas is buying trays of drinks.
Because they don't have any reserve.
And they're good guys. I'm not saying anything. I'm simply
I'm saying that their expense account is different.
Yeah, I couldn't buy the drinks they drink. So exactly. So they acting like, man, how you getting all these girls to get on the party bus, come back and just like, I'm like, my nigga spending good. I'm telling these women literally like, y'all come party with us. My nigga spending good. We eat wings, we drinking liquor, we spilling liquor over this motherfucker. I'm literally telling them this because I know they're gonna do it because they got it.
Right.
I ain't got it.
And you do realize that you have the resilience. So we'll talk about resilience real quick because that's something I said earlier, but I want to tap in on that.
Yeah.
All the jewelry, all the cars, all the money, all the food, all the catering, all of that didn't bring those women on the bus. You just told me you went into a spot with your pant leg pulled up, a chain that's got an American flag on it and a t-shirt. And you're telling me, I'm just trying to get this clear so that I'm reiterating what you're telling me.
Yeah.
You're telling me you walked into the spot and happened to get an abundance of women to follow in behind you that didn't have the Louis, didn't have the money, didn't have, not to say you didn't have money, but I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I did not like them guys. I wasn't going to do what they did.
No, you weren't flashing money. You weren't. However, the resilience And that, my love, is what nobody talks about. Nobody talks about the resilience. Nobody realizes that resilience is always better than this and that, and I gotta have this, I gotta have that. It don't matter.
Because in the movie, the girl ran off on the fucking mayor. Her husband was the fucking mayor. He started the town. He started the town.
Yes.
Like this nigga was the nigga. He was handsome.
Yes.
He started a town.
Yes, sir.
That his wife was the first lady of the town. Like he was that nigga.
Yes, sir.
And a nigga walked up off the street with some bummy clothes on, and she was like, I'm going with that nigga.
Resilience.
That shit crazy, ain't it?
Resilience is always going to tap off. Don't have swag and be able to do it. You just sat here and told me what you did, and you didn't have to flash no Louis. You didn't have to flash no Gucci. You didn't have to flash no money. All you said was, hey, come on over here with us. We're having a good time.
Come on over here with us. We having a good time. And when the women they coming over, they instantly start falling in the line. The one that need to flash the money, when we at the strip club, the one that need to pull out the ones did what he need to do. It's like men fall in line. We do what we need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know what the good time is.
Yeah, we know.
Remember I said earlier, it comes down to code of conduct. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Men, y'all have the code down. Y'all know what the code of conduct is. Period. It's not hard.
It's like me.
Here's what I used to do.
Go ahead.
When I would go Playgirl years. So, you know, I'm the shortest one. But I would go, usually had like 2 or 3 girls, but usually it was like 3 of us. And I would go always. This always worked. I would go to the bar, sit by myself. My one girl would be on one side of the bar, my other girl would be over here. We always had a code where we would have 1 at the bar and 2 on opposite sides of the bar.
Y'all had hoeing down to a science.
Science, babe, of course. I mean, come on now. So I'm at the bar, and I always got my one drink. I would do like either a margarita, or I would tell them my favorite drink, which was a Hawaiian volcano, and I would tell the bartender exactly how to make it. Yeah. And don't mess up my drink because this is important. So I would go up there, sit at the bar. Mind you, I'm 5'1", so it actually helps me to be on the bar stool because I got a little more height now. Yeah. And I always wore heels, so I wasn't too bad. But anyway, I would sit at the bar and I would cross my legs so my 2 girls knew, okay, she got her drink. The whole setup is ready. So I would go to the bar, sit at the bar, get my drink, and cross my legs. The girls knew, okay, that means it's time. What that means is give me about 10 to 15 minutes and I will be approached. No questions asked. And it worked every time. My girls are like, how the hell do you do that? It didn't matter because as long as I got an approach, I knew that once I got that man on the dance floor, it's a wrap. But then well, baby, where's your friends at? You got any friends? Well, yeah, now I got her and her already covered. So now he comes on the dance floor, we're dancing and everything, and then the next thing I know, like, you got any friends? Like, well, what's your girl look like? Oh, she's over there. Then he's like, hey. Then he hollers at his boy, and then he points to her. So now we have the whole setup, and then that's how we roll. But again, I would always look single. Like I didn't have anybody with me. Mm-hmm. Because that means I'm more what? Approachable.
You're right, because a nigga scared of
talking to anybody. I'm alone.
Smooth, because it's harder. It's harder to walk up on 3-4 women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my approach was exactly the opposite. I'm walking up on the girls in their VIP booth. You know what I'm saying? 4 women. I'm walking over to their VIP. How y'all ladies doing? Can I sit down? Can I sit down with y'all? My feet hurt. You know, and they look at me like, is this motherfucker crazy? Motherfucker, you don't know us. And that's when I said, what? Look, I can buy a drink. Can I get y'all a drink? Shit, I just want to sit down. You know what I'm saying? And they said, well, shit, if you gonna buy us a drink, sit down then. You know, the attitude of the women come out. Right. And then that's when I sit down and I say, y'all want some wings or something too? Shit. You know what I'm saying? And by the time the drinks and the wings come, and I didn't, charm them a little bit, I'd be like, hey, that's my homie right there. He's 6'5", 6'6". He finna pay for all this shit. I said, hey, come on over, man. I said, he gonna pay for this shit. I said, come on. I said, he's shy. He gonna pay for this shit. He just
right.
You know what I'm saying? He come right over and pay for this shit and sit right on down.
Yep.
We in VIP.
He already knew
old
he had
women.
code of conduct.
Yeah, now
I had already trained my girls about the code of conduct. I already told them, if you let me lead this, we won't have no problem at all for the rest of the night. I'll buy my first drink. And once I buy that drink and cross my legs and sip, real slow.
We drinking free and eating free wings tonight. Hey, and can leave if we want. Girl, we came together. We gonna leave together unless I want to fuck. Yeah. Look, y'all came together and gonna leave together, but that night there's somebody that want to do what they want to do. Women will fall out. Let me tell you a quick story. This is funny. I had a situation with, you know how women say we came together, we gonna leave together, right?
Right.
A little situation kind of like that where, and it was like we came together, we gonna leave together, right. And one of the women wanted to leave with me, and I hate to say it, she was married. And
right.
Boy, them women was trying to be like, we came together, we gonna leave together. And she was like a little tipsy. Well, I'm going with him. And boy, when I tell you, them women was mad and arguing. I finally say, hey, look, baby girl, just go with your friends. I said, I don't want to break up no friendship because you trying to get some dick tonight. Now, I don't know if they jealous or they really like we came together, or they like, girl, we ain't gonna let you cheat on your husband out here tonight. I was just like, look, go ahead, because they looking at me like I'm motherfucking Craig and the Break Up Club. I'm like, damn, ladies, like, God damn, I know. I'm like, y'all go ahead and go with your friends. Like, y'all out here arguing in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not want y'all to not be friends tomorrow because you got you some dick tonight. And you know what? Sometimes people don't realize, and the reason I did that, because as a married man, I know when men have faith and hoping in their married friends. You see what I'm saying? She might have been the female that was married that had a good man, and her girlfriends could have been like, girl, you got a good man. You got something we want. You the reason we believe in marriage. Don't you fuck up out here tonight. You see what I'm saying? And I felt like it was one of them situations. I was like, these women is really pressed. Like, damn, she a grown ass woman. I said, they must look up to her.
They just want the right crew to be taken.
I said they look up to her. They don't want her because they've, I've been in situations like that, like where I'm looking at a situation and I'm like, I look up and I respect this guy. And if this nigga fuck up, I ain't gonna call him out, but it's gonna really make me say, nigga, you want some shit. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was and it ain't gotta be cheating on your wife. It could just be someone integrity. You know what I'm saying? You like, oh, okay, so you gonna keep that bread. You know, okay, motherfucker. Yeah, I watch you now. I changed my mind about you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So again, that's why I think it's important that you have a code of conduct and you guys already know. That was my rule of thumb. And me and my girls really never got into fallouts or anything like that because we already knew code. And so we already had it down pat. We leave together, we go together. And that was just the rule of thumb. We always had it pretty much down pat. Like,
who gonna drive, all that shit.
Oh yeah, we were sharp. We were sharp. Yeah. And the one time I had my baby girl, so I couldn't go out this one weekend. My friend, her name was Angie. Her and I were tight, man, and she ended up going out without me. Now, this is why I say you don't break code, and she should have just kept her behind at home. She goes out, Javon. Her drink gets spiked. she ends up telling me that she ended up getting to some man's spot. I don't know where he was, but anyway, she comes to my apartment like the following day. Like, I don't know what happened to me, but from here down, it was nothing but sucker bites all over her body.
Sucker bites, like somebody
Sucker bites.
beat her.
I'm talking about bruises.
Oh wow.
And she said she remembered, the only part she remembered was she was in a shower with a woman and a man. And she said all she could remember was she would black out and then wake up, and the person was on her, then she'd black out and wake up. And I said, you went against code. We always, no one left to the bathroom without one watching each other's. I mean, I was like, you know me, I'm on some other stuff. I was making sure everybody was going to leave together, be safe together. I was like, Ange, why would you do this? This is dangerous. Like, you can't just go out to a spot like that without me. You know, you're in high risk.
Crazy that women are always at risk. You know what I'm saying? Leaving the club, going back into their apartment, depending on what they got on. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say it like that. I would tell women, I would say, what you wear and being out at certain times at night. The rapist ain't raping women at 12 o'clock in the noon. You know, he not kidnapping. He following bitches home from the club that's by themselves. You know, dudes be at the club and they see a woman and, all right, girl, see you tomorrow. And he follow the one that go by herself. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that women have to go through shit like that.
I was so big about protocol and big about making sure all my girls were safe. And we would always have a dispersing spot. Like, once we got home, we text each other, we're all safe. So there was like a lot that I was always managing, even in my fun time. Like, Playgirl years was cool, but look, we're all going home. I was a mom, so I'm like, I can't be out here, you know, where I'm not responsible. So I was always making sure everybody was safe. And that one time she did not have me with her, she's like, man, I was a mess. She was like, till this day, she doesn't know what happened.
It's crazy because women have to have that code of conduct, and men will just leave and go wherever. Like, all right, dog, I'm leaving with this bitch, so I'm getting the pussy. We leave, and I never forget this one time, like, women having a code of conduct. I just being experienced. It happened to me once, leaving with a woman that I had just met, and it was a crew of friends, and they won't even cock block, and they was just like, give me your license.
Wow.
If you want to go without, give me your license. I was like, shit, take them. I ain't finna do nothing to this woman. I gave him my motherfucking license. I was like, shit, I want to goddamn hang out. Shorty, that must have been something that they do, because we drinking and we having fun and we at the table and in the booth, and I'm like, shit, you trying to come with me? And she was like, looked at her friends and she kind of smiled like, yeah. And then they was like, well, give us your license. I was like, what? Give you my license? They was like, give us your license. If you ain't finna do nothing to her. I was like, shit, take it. That's the first time I got ID'd for some pussy. But I was like, you can have these motherfuckers right now. I will give you my license.
I love it because I love the fact that you didn't have any hesitation, because that made the girl crew comfortable, and they felt like I don't feel they gave their girl the consent that you're good. As long as we got this, we'll find you. So
yeah.
You were like, I'm not on none of that. I'm just trying to spend time with her. So they're like, okay, cool, but just give us the license.
Yeah. And it's crazy because they probably got that in their head. It ain't like I couldn't have had a fake ID or killed and said, fuck it, you know who I am. But whatever, that was their little thing that they had. I guess they had pre-agreed. Like, they said it so easily, like that's what they do. Like, shit, you leave with a nigga, give me a license. I gave you my license. You know
that one I never did, but we never left with nobody. Like, we didn't do it the first night we meet somebody, we just leave with him. Yeah. We just didn't do it.
Y'all ain't running across me in that motherfucker. I'm just playing. So let me ask you something.
Sure.
As far as the men, when you say style versus showmanship, or did you say swag versus showmanship? Which one? It probably was swag.
It was swag versus showmanship. So that's something you're going to explain how men have swag with showmanship, but they confuse it. They think that it's one or the other. So
Yeah. It's like women can tell when a man's showing off, and a man can tell when a woman is showing off. Like you got some women that you can tell she dancing and that's just her thing and she in her groove. And then you got some women, she out there like promoting that ass tonight.
Promoting, yes.
Yeah. So it's like you could tell the difference between a show off and a person with swag. I just know there's been so many situations where like when we was talking about that coldness or that coolness,
yes.
I have been talking to women, and when you a group of men talking to a group of women, you kind of gotta let shit, because if you holler at the wrong one and the homegirl like you, they done already chose up. If you kind of gotta feel the room, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
So
yeah, that's true.
It's
because I know for a fact that we already had our dabs on which one we wanted.
Yeah, and it's been situations where I guess women choose. Is there a hierarchy that women choose by too? Say, for example, I've been in a situation where the one that they chose for me is the one that I didn't want. They just figured it because she was the pretty of the group. Like say, for example, do the woman with the fat ass be like, now y'all know I got him. Best first dibs on him. Like, because men will say, if shit go like we want it, I want her, I want her, I want her. And men will kind of almost be like, yeah, nigga, you got the most money. You might end up paying the bill. You could have her. Like, it's almost like it's
like a bidding process.
Yes, it's like that with women too. Like, who gets to get the best guy, or like, how does that go?
Well,
y'all discuss it.
All kind of see. The thing is, when I chose a girl group, I never chose a girl group that had the same taste as me. So what I mean by that is, there's certain things that I like that my girls know I'm on, but there's certain guys that I know my girls like that I know I'm not on them.
So when you say girl group, so this is the thing about you, I'm realizing everything is strategic. So when you say you got real friends, but then you got who you're going to specifically go out with.
Exactly. And then
it was always looking at it strategically, like we going to see some guys. Like, I ain't going out with her, she boring. That might be my best friend, but she boring and scare the guys off. I don't go out on guy night, ladies night with her.
And like, for instance, I had like a girl group that was like Caucasian.
Yeah.
Then I had another girl group that was pretty much just me and my girl Tam. Like, me and Tammy, we were black, but we were known for being the chocolate girls with the big booties. We already knew that was what most men were going to compliment that always. So we're like, okay, we get it. So Tam and I would be like, okay, which one do you kind of like? Because she and I both had similar tastes, but we wouldn't step on each other's toes. So she'd be like, you want that one or you want this one? And I'd be like, it don't matter to me. Like, we'll just see which one is going to step first. And then I would do the sit at the bar thing and cross my leg. And then whichever one approached me, and then I would just hit her with, like, I would either do this or I'd be like this. And so she'd be like, okay, so she don't really want him. But I'd be like, but what's your friend got going on? Like that. And then I'd be like, but my girl Tam, you ought to take her out on a date, or you should, go ask her to dance with you.
That's crazy. That's crazy that we're talking about this, having this discussion. It's like literally a discussion and an academy on how to be noticed, how to be chosen, how to get picked, how to keep a motherfucker. Like, this is literally going to be a school of relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody wants one.
Yeah. Everybody acting like they don't, but everybody want a relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Chris was saying her best friend named Tammy, so that's funny.
Well, Tammy was the most fun. So Tammy and I always had code of conduct, and we will always pick the finest one in the joint. So me and her both would just be like, it doesn't really matter. We both had good taste. But when I went with my Caucasian group, a lot of different flares of men would step to me. because they saw me with white girls. So I guess they thought, well, she's open to whatever, whatever race steps to her.
So let me ask you something. Before we get out of here.
Okay.
Rejection with women. Because it's like, as I'm sitting here hearing you, like, for example, how can I explain this? I give you two quick examples. If a woman went out in Walmart and stood by the bathroom and said, psst, 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 come in here and fuck me, she's going to get fucked 9 out of 10 times.
Right.
If a man did that 9 out of 10 times, they're going to report him to the fucking security. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So the point I'm making is rejection. We was on the track the other day jogging, and I was talking to one of my friends about confidence and blah, 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 because he had watched the show, and he's a slim, dark-skinned guy. He don't like, but he's the dark-skinned motherfucker that's got abs and motherfucker cut muscles. Okay. I'm like, motherfucker, you sexy to women, goddamn, you 50, built like you built, dark-skinned, gray beard. But he's always thought, I'm dark-skinned, ugly, skinny motherfucker. That's how he's always viewed himself. Okay. So we on the track, and we talking about rejection. And I said, man, sometimes it ain't about yes or no. It's about just saying. It's just about talking. And he was like, man, I don't love the rejection. So as we walking around the track, we walk up on these, it's a big track, 5 women walking together. I said, man, watch me talk to these women. He was like, all right, you about to get rejected right out here. I said, I ain't even trying to holler. I just want to talk to them. So when we come by, I said, hey, is this the right trail? Because we had saw a trail online, and this shit is dead in the middle of the sun. I was like, this ain't what I want to do. They was like, we don't know either, because it's hot in the motherfucker out here. I said, is that the trail down in the woods? I said, because it's too hot. No. And I said, I'm out here, and I said, I'm a big guy. And we just laughing, and they laughing. Yeah. And then I said, well, look, if y'all want to, I'm scared to go down in the woods because I don't know if I'm going to get lost. Let's go down in there together. And so they was like, you inviting us to walk with y'all? I said, I ain't inviting us to walk. I said, I want to get out the damn heat, but I don't want to get lost. You know what I'm saying? And then they was like, well, we'll go down in there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we walked off the main big track in the middle of the sun down into the woods. And me and them, my crew kept walking, and they walked. Ain't nobody try to holler.
No. The point was you were just showing
talk to the fucking women, dog.
Remember what I told you. It's your resilience. You could go out of there with nothing but a ball cap and tennis shoes and a pair of shorts, and you will approach. You don't approach with this intent of I want to get some pee from you.
Yeah, just talk.
With hey, do you mind helping me out here? I'm just
And you know what's so crazy?
Welcoming. Yes, that is the welcoming energy. I'm telling you, that works.
And what was so crazy, after we got off the trail and now we walking through the trail in the woods, we walk faster than them. And we went on ahead and walked ahead. He talking about, man, they followed us in the woods off the trail. Why you ain't holler? I said, because now I'm looking like a creep if I holler. If they wanted to be hollered at, they'd have gave me some type of sign. You know what I'm saying? They'd have said something like, hey, you done got us off the trail and y'all gonna walk off and leave us?
Yes,
exactly. Oh, y'all want to hold hands. Let's hold hands then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you are quick. See how quick you were? You were quick with a comeback.
Yeah, but it's just the point of,
and then we end up getting more vivacious, and we get more of what? Connections with people.
Yeah, I'm like, it ain't the time to holler. I was just showing him sometime be nice, talk. Don't go. I won't go up into them women and say, hey, can I have y'all number on the trail? And let them reject me. No. I just was friendly. They followed us off the trail in the woods. We kept walking. Yeah. And he like, man, we supposed to holler. I'm like, right now, bro, see, you fucking up. That would fuck the whole shit up.
Yes, right. Like, but again, you're a strategist like me. You're looking at it from a different perspective. Who knows when you go back on that trail? We
might see them again, and they like, y'all from last week, y'all walk with us today. But the point I'm making is some of what people don't understand that will attract people is if you just be a decent human being. A decent human being speaks and converses with people.
Yes.
And I ain't gonna say you got to be this extroverted person,
Right.
but you know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? Just speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think we really help to show how powerful it is to have high resilience, number one, be able to be forthcoming with you being you without feeling like I don't want to say anything, I'm afraid, I'm terrified, they're going to reject me. That's what stops you from actually getting approached or from feeling okay with approaching, is your own concern about being rejected.
Your aura.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So reject yourself in the beginning. This fine curly hair, green eyed MFer that everybody wants ain't gonna let me talk to him. And I'm gonna go right over there and be like, I know you're too fine to talk to me, but listen, I got a question for you. And I'll just come right, don't give a damn if he rejects or not. And 9 times out of 10, that man's gonna give me his number.
Yep. And you know what's crazy? And men and women are exactly opposite, because a man walk up to a woman and say, you too fine to talk to me. She is not going to think he's confident. She's not going to give him his number. But if you walk up to a man and say that man going to give you his number, because you see what I'm saying? And that's why it's
race either.
Exactly. That's why it's good to have a man and woman that's being honest. We got all these relationship shits, and it's just like a woman just talking to me, and it's like there's a different perspective. Like I said earlier, those women think that man asking for that picture because he's trying to be freaky, and he just trying to see would you really submit to him. Right. And whereas you said, I know you might not talk to me, but blah blah blah, that's gonna shock a man, and you know it's gonna get you in with confidence. But whereas a man, if you walk up to a woman as a man and say, I know I ain't your type, but she gonna say, you're definitely not my type, motherfucker. Whether if you my type or not, the motherfucker to say, I know I ain't your type, is not my motherfucking type. I don't care how he look in her mind, she gonna say, this motherfucker ain't got no confidence. You know what I'm saying? So things that work for one gender may not work for the next. Miss Carla, you know what time it is. We about to wrap this thing up. Okay. I so love this conversation because what you're doing is showing me, because I'm gonna be honest with you. You're showing me that there's a strategy to building and finding relationships, and where I just thought some motherfuckers was doomed. Motherfucker, you ain't got it. You ain't got it. She ain't got it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing, because I realize you can teach people to be what you're being anyway. And it's just comes from self-discovery and self-confidence. It all goes back to the same thing. Like I was saying last night, my wife, her journey to the total woman, Trav, hero training, your life coaching, you know what I'm saying? My berries and bubbles. It all goes back to the same thing. Self-discovery, self-confidence, self-discipline, and self-love will get you everywhere you need to be on the road to your purpose. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is.
Yes. And when we think about it, when we do our living soul readings,
yeah. I gotta hit you up because I want to get you to do. Maybe you think we can do that next week?
Absolutely. Let's go.
I'll get you right, and I want you to do one for Chris and my daughter, and we'll sit here together, and you could explain it to her, and we could do it together. And like I said, I'm just a fly on the wall, and unless it's something y'all want to ask me.
Well, no, but I also want to do a gravity report with you and your wife, because there's also different seasons. There's so much to the living soul. You just
yeah. So let's plan to do that next week. Okay. I'll hit you with her information. And we'll go from there.
Shoot me with Chris's date of birth. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's all. Just her date of birth.
That's all I need.
And I'll give you my daughters too. And then,
I need the babies too. Yeah, and then also, I'm going to send you the link. I need you to read this book. It's called She's Left Anyways.
She left anyway.
You do realize that this book is going to be powerful for you. I need you to read this book.
I'm gonna read it. Send me the link. You know, this is, I like hard copy shit. I like to be able to just order some shit. But send me the link. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because
you're going to fall in love with this book.
Yeah, because what I'll do is I'll cash app you. I'm just so, and I gotta get better than that. And I'm like, somebody be like, support me. I'll be like, how much it costs? I cash app you, send me this shit. I don't want to go through your fucking website. I don't want to go through all the goddamn filling in credit card number to get the shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get better at that.
Sure.
But what I'm gonna do, we'll talk tomorrow and I'm gonna get the book and I'm gonna read it because I already know just from the title.
You have no clue.
Yeah, just from the title, I already know it's gonna be dope just from the title and saying you was a good motherfucker, but she left you anyway. Nigga, I'm finna teach you how to keep your bitch. You
well, and I also want you to talk about it because I know for a fact you are a decent man. And so you reading the book and understanding how that feels.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah. I can't say I've been through that, but you know what I'm saying? Shit, I don't know. It's some shit I ain't been through. Like maybe sometimes I used to say, "Am I cold?" Because like shit, if we break up, shit is or we that's our time. That was our time. That was our time. And I say to women all the time, and this is a funny thing about delusion and accepting reality. I say to women all the time, you like that guy. And you're going crazy because you can't have him, right? Mm-hmm. I said, but it's 4 guys that like him. You turning all them motherfuckers down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just be like, do you really see that John and Jeff want you and do anything for you the same way you will for him? And you mad because he has a decision to say, but I don't want you to be my main. But you telling them they can't be your main.
Oh my God, Javon, that is juicy right there.
I used to always tell women, like, what do you mean? Like, if he would just break down and da-da-da-da-da, I was like, it's a guy that's saying the same thing about you. And you feel like, and you'll look at him and say out of your mouth with everything in you, I don't have to want you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you do this for me. I like you, and and you do this and and I'm gonna continue to keep doing this and let you do but you're not the man that I want to be with. I said somebody is having to swallow that pill that you're having to swallow for you.
Yes. Why is that such an issue? I don't know.
Why? It's like a woman can have 10 guys that's in love with them and she don't want now one of them, but mad because the guy she don't want her. That should be amazing to me.
I love that. That's going to be a time. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
We can never get on the show and not bring up something that we got to do on another show, but that is
exactly. And whenever I would say that to women, you notice how powerful you saying it is. Like it's an epiphany or this moment. Whenever I would say that to women, they would just be like, you know what? Oh my God. Like have this moment. And I'd be like, what do you mean moment? You turn niggas down every day. Like, what do you mean? Like,
because the part of the man, this is why the spirit created male and female. Because you can see the crazy in that. But the woman is also engulfed in her disappointment with the man that doesn't want her. And she doesn't see the men that want her and desire her. Because she doesn't want them. She wants him.
She got the right to not want somebody, but he ain't got the right to not want me.
Right. Just crazy stuff. Like,
well, Carla, I got to get on out here. Y'all remember, y'all say tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Do you got a Twitter or X account?
I do not have a Twitter, and it's so funny. I need to get one. You
got to get one because most of our following, I just discovered, is coming from Twitter.
Really?
Most of our following. When we up here, if it's 200 people, 180 of them are from Twitter. Like today, right now is 67 people watching. 64 of them are watching live on Twitter.
Wow.
So I'm just throwing that out there so you can figure out how to, assess that and blah, blah, blah. But y'all know what I like to say. Y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. We will see y'all next Monday. Me and Chris Monday, me and Trav Tuesday, me and Miss Carla Wednesday. Y'all go check out the Ranting Raving page. It's doing numbers. Y'all share, like, y'all help get this thing out. And do this. Rewatch the show. Rewatch.
Yeah.
When I say rewatch, go back in, click on this motherfucker. If you don't want to hear it, turn that shit down and rewatch the show. I'm telling you, that helps us. That puts us out. Even if you don't watch the whole shit. Miss Carla, is there anything you need to say before we get out of here?
Just want everybody to be, listen, always remember it's very important to be in purpose. Don't forget to follow our channel, Ranting and Raving Podcast on YouTube.
Y'all already know what time it is. Peace. Let's see why. Okay. In that stream.